Guys, so I am at the Nissan Formula E event. It's a launch event for season 10, which is about to kick off very soon. And basically what we have here is the Generation 2 car. So this is the first car Nissan started competing with. And over there is their latest car, the car they've raced with last year, and the same design goes into the racing this year. And basically, I'm going to tell you how the technology in this car compares to the road cars, right? So what's the battery, what's the charging, all that stuff. We're going to talk about all of that in today's episode. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm Luke, and welcome to another episode of The Future is Electric. So I'm here with the Nissan Gen 3 Formula E race car, and I'd love to show it to you here. So basically back there is the second generation, and this is the newer car. Same car they raced with last season, and now we're going to have another 3 seasons using this design. There was a significant increase in a number of things. So perhaps what you're interested in is the battery, which in normal cars like the Aria back there is usually at the bottom of the car. This is a race car, so they want to keep it as low to the ground as possible. So the battery is actually found back here, right behind the driver. It's a big cube shape. It's a 47 kilowatt hour battery, usable 38.5 kilowatts. And what's really interesting here is that is not enough energy to finish the race with. So the driver has to, besides obviously try to come first, has to control the regen of the car to also charge the battery to have enough juice to finish the race with, which I found pretty interesting. And the mind-blowing fact here is that the cars can regenerate up to 40% of power. So it's like this battery is another 40% larger. That's how much they can regenerate, which compared to the road electric vehicles, right, that's a very, very high number, because usually on the road cars we're going to see something like 20-25%, but definitely not 40. So this is definitely top of the notch stuff. What's interesting as well here is the charge rate. So the car has 2 electric motors. That's new in this Gen 3. They've got the rear electric motor and the front motor. Those are both designed in this case and manufactured by Nissan, so it is a sort of top secret. I was seeing earlier the Gen 2 motor, which they've recently released because now the car is old. You'll appreciate how small the package is, right, for the amount of power it gives out. But for this Gen 3 vehicle, basically, this is a car that can reach 322 kilometers per hour, right? The motor's 350 kilowatts, 470 brake horsepower, and the charge rate of 600 kilowatts. So the idea here on the upcoming season is that they pit, and in those 30 seconds when they're pitting, they're gonna hit the car with 600 kilowatts of charge power, right? And they're gonna be able to top up the battery. I might get the numbers wrong, but I believe it's around 4 kilowatts of charge in those 30 seconds. What would usually take you like an hour to charge at home, right, at that speed, they're going to hit the car with that amount of power in 30 seconds, which is quite cool. And here's a bit of the cockpit. I'm going to get to try a simulator later on, which I'm going to see how I do in that. And the battery doesn't change, right? So the battery is the same for the entire season. They change it in the event there is a fault or there is a danger, but other than that, they are keeping the same battery. Battery cells, guess what, get recycled at the end of the season. So the chassis, the battery, and the tires are actually the same for all the teams. So they start all the same there. However, then the teams, and this is where Nissan is actually a manufacturer, because it supplies the car and technology to another team, McLaren in fact. Basically the teams design the inverter, so that's taking the DC energy in the motor and converting it into the AC required to drive the electric motors. You've got the gearbox, which is also designed, so this is a race car, so a gearbox will come in handy, different to our road cars which use 1 gear, right? And the brake-by-wire, so how that regen is coming in and controlled. very important. And of course, one very important thing is the software. So possibly more ever than we've seen in a race car, right? So a huge part of actually managing the energy in the battery is the software, and of course the teams are writing proprietary software, which eventually does find its way to the road cars, which I find very interesting, on how to manage the energy best as possible. So Formula E is this platform. It is now in its 10th year, and the beautiful thing here is that it's not just a race, right? This is a platform for innovation, and Nissan are here because they want to lead in this next century, right, of the automotive industry. And I believe racing is important for that reason, because it's going to push the boundary. We're already seeing how technology developed for these Formula E cars has found its way to the road cars. And it could be software tweaks, it could be tweaks to the hardware, but you're already starting to see this all come full circle. And that's what's important here. So that is the Nissan Formula E. I'm Luke, and thanks for watching another episode of The Future is Electric.